Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. We're here at the SAIC GM Wuling Automobile Company Ltd. in Liuzhou, Guangxi Autonomous Region, China. As we were driving in here, I noticed a bunch of these little EVs, electric vehicles, no drivers, computers driving them around, and we're gonna go in and see how they actually make these little puppies. So come on, let's go. What makes these so popular in China is they sell for anywhere between 28 and 38,000 RMB, which translates into anywhere between just below 5,000 Canadian dollars up to about just over 7,000 Canadian dollars. They could travel 105 miles between charges, or that translates into about 160 kilometers between charges. They seat 4 people, 2-door hatchback. They outsold Tesla in January. These little boys outsold Tesla worldwide in January, but these are only available in China at this point. February numbers haven't come in yet, so I'm not sure about February, but here's some competition. Elon, scared yet? And you see how the floor moves. So everybody has to do their job within a certain time period because it's only in their area for that amount of time. Every minute that this factory is open, one car comes off the assembly line. From start to finish, 4 hours to make a car. Only 4 hours to make a car. How is that for efficient? And like always, nothing goes perfect all the time. So as I was in doing the factory floor stuff, my glasses broke. They're just old like me, I guess. Let's see if this car is going to stop for me, because these smart cars are supposed to stop when you're in the crosswalk. So this vehicle was cruising along. Gweilo got out on the street and it stopped. So now I cross the street. Let's see if it'll go again. Smarter than a lot of drivers, I tell you. There it goes. And look at Lee's trying to see if it'll stop. Oh, see, you can't fool that car. I know it goes into a gas vehicle. We used to fix our own vehicles when I was a kid, or a lot younger than I am right now. And you can see why these things are a $5,000 bill. Because, you know, there's not a lot to them as compared to a gas vehicle. This, and then they just put the body on top of it, like this. And then you put a Chinese girl in it like this. This is actually a testing area for the lithium-ion batteries that they use in the Wuling EV. And I asked the lady, I said, how long do they warranty the battery for? 8 years. These batteries are warranted for 8 years. They go through testing of humidity and dust to make sure that when they get dried out, they don't die. When they get wet, they're not going to screw up on you type thing. So they go through all of the testing before they put them in the vehicles. Oh yes, they do. 8 years. How are you going to figure out how it's going to work in wind on the highway if you don't put it through a wind tunnel in testing? So that's where we're at right now. We're at the lab where they do all of the testing of the vehicles. When they test these vehicles, they test them, even though they're electric vehicles, they test them in extreme temperatures, minus 40 degrees Celsius up to plus 60 degrees Celsius. So from hot to cold and everything in between. They test the battery strength, how well they'll hold up in those extreme temperatures. And don't think Wuling is just a one type of vehicle. They have the EV vehicles, they have the minis. But they also have trucks. They also have SUVs, they've got minivans, they've got a wide variety of vehicles that they sell, right down to the Wuling van, the famous Wuling van that you see all over mainland China. And when you look at the interior of this vehicle, it doesn't look that big, but once you get into it, it's super comfortable. Actually, I haven't been in the back seat, but you can see it seats 4 people. It's got Bluetooth, it's got air conditioning. For a commute around the city, it's basically all you need. With anything, there has to be infrastructure for these vehicles, and you can see that Leo Joe has already put in the infrastructure to charge up the batteries of the people's electric vehicles here on the street. So they come downtown, and they don't really need a lot of parking space because they're not very large vehicles. But they do need to be charged up, so they have these charging stations for them. Check this out. One of the things about this, and this is something that I think everybody will understand because money talks, it costs $1 Canadian, 5 RMB, to run these things for 100 kilometers. You got that right. 100 kilometers for $1 Canadian. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So when you think about it, people, you can drive the vehicle for 100 kilometers for $1 Canadian. You can buy the vehicle for 5,000 Canadian dollars. The warranty is 120,000 kilometers or 8 years. Now think about what you're paying for your vehicle in Canada to drive around the city. Think about what you're paying in repairs on your gas vehicle. Think about the pollution that you're creating running a gas vehicle. Think about how much extra parking you need for a larger vehicle. Think about the repairs, the oil changes. Think about the mechanic bills. And then think about spending $5,000 for a car, and think about spending $1 Canadian for 100 kilometers in a car like this, driving around the city. It doesn't make sense to do it the way that you're doing it in the Western world. I think China's onto something, and I think that this is the future of vehicles for city driving. As the batteries get better, then you're going to be looking at these type of vehicles on the highways of the world. What a concept, eh? And this is what China does. That keeps their people not only with money in their pockets, but with jobs, industry being created. Innovation at its best, guys. So here we are out on the test track. We're out here to test these electric vehicles. Oh yes. And if you notice, they have banked corners, so you don't have to even slow down for the corners. And because they're not sure, they're always really careful. We have an ambulance standing by and we have a fire truck. No, I ain't shitting you guys. Look at. They don't trust. I have over 45 years of driving experience, and they don't trust me. I think they should be worried about the girls. Okay, here I am in the driver's seat, and we got the safety guy in the back here. Say hello, safety guy. Hello. Hello. And so this is the first time I've ever driven an EV. So this could be an experience in itself. Okay, and off we go. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to check out to see what the acceleration is like, because they say that electric vehicles go fast. To the pedals to the metal, and it's 80, right there, 80 kilometers an hour. So when you're looking at driving around the city, you don't need anything more than this. Lee's next door here. I leave him in the dust because he's just got the little white. Oh no, Lee is winning. Oh, just got beat out by a Brit. And this is the one that's between 28 and 38,000 RMB, so 5,000 to 7,000 Canadian dollars for a car that does 160 kilometers. around the city, which is pretty damn good if you think about it. Where for $5,000 or $7,000 can you get a vehicle? So let's crack this puppy. Oh yeah, see, it's got a little bit more power there, eh? So they make the road rough just to see if that's 80 kilometers an hour, guys. So it didn't take long to get up there. If you think about it, you don't need a big car around the city. Not only that, but these puppies here are zero carbon emission. As you put one of these on the road in a city, it takes one gas guzzling car off the road, which is a good thing. Hey, don't you think so? I think so. And they go fast enough. There's no way that you're going to need it to do 100 miles an hour. This puppy does 62 miles an hour as a top speed. Does 160 kilometers between plug-ins at the max, and then it takes 8 hours to charge it up back to 100%. So let's go and try it on a couple of corners here. Those are straightaways that we were on. Let's go try a couple of corners. Yeah, you see, for driving around the city, you don't need anything more than this. And it's got all these just to check the suspension, and the suspension is good in these things. It's just like driving a regular car. So you know, my take on these vehicles is, yes, they're worth the money that they're asking for them. They corner like a regular vehicle. They have acceleration like a regular vehicle. They have the brakes, the interior, they're comfortable. They're everything that a regular vehicle would be. And one of the big things about this is they're electric. So in the last half of last year, the vehicles that we're here to look at, the Guang Mini EV 4-seater, they sold 115,000. This company sold 115,000 of these units. That means in the cities of China, because they're only sold in China, that means in the cities of China there's 115,000 less fossil fuel vehicles in those cities because people are driving the EVs. That makes it so there's less pollution, it's better for the people. Plus, these things are only about $5,000. Like, seriously, these are only about $5,000, so they're less expensive, they're just as safe, and they're non-polluting. Cool, eh? And that, my friends, from the test tracks in Liuzhou, Guangxi Autonomous Region, China, from the SAIC GM Wuling Automotive Company Limited Factory. That's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, Lee took off again in another vehicle. Lee stole my vehicle. Oh, you see? Can't trust nobody nowadays. Like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell. Oh, and never forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. Thanks for watching. Bye now. After it's all said and done, the fire truck and the ambulance didn't have to move 1 inch.